Well, hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I am your host, Neil Johnson. I'm excited to be with you. I'm excited to share the news with you. I've got a big report. There's some big things happening in Arizona. A couple things I didn't do videos on. Just wasn't able to get around to. Probably should have done them on that. I had some other ones I wanted to get out that Arizona videos probably would have performed better. I did one on the World Economic Forum today that I absolutely I just loved it. It's gone nowhere though. So anyways, I don't know if you get a chance, go check that one out. It's on my up there on the page. And I just uploaded another one from the presser. I'll share a short presser video tonight because there's just so much good stuff coming out of these pressers. I can't help myself and whatnot. But anyways, please do smash that like as you come in and chat it up with where you are from. And we're going to have a good time tonight. I wanted to share this one thing, and now I can't find it of all things. I just had it. All right, I'll move on, and we'll go on to other things. The show, we're going to talk a little bit about Arizona tonight. I've got a lot of Arizona stuff on this one. And then we also have... Still trying to find that thing because I just can't stand the fact that I can't find it. But the World Economic Forum, the stuff coming out of there was absolutely hilarious. All right, I'm going to pop this in. So it's going to try and pop this up. So just hold on. It's because I'm adding it late. I'll pull it right back out. These White House pressers are solid. There we go. I'm going to pull that right back out. All right. Lisa, I want to thank you so much for that $20 super chat. So thank you so much, Lisa. And we've got I've got some Florida news too, but the stuff out of Arizona is hot, and I want to start with one other thing first because I think this is huge, and it's actually from Tucker Carlson. It's a Tucker Carlson piece that I want y'all to see, and I've got something on Trudeau. So Trudeau, who's obviously off the rails up in Canada. By the way, if you didn't know, Jacinda from New Zealand is done. She's gone. She's gone. Jacinda is gone. Oh man, I might be able to get back over to New Zealand. I've always wanted to go there. So anyways, you know that they don't have any natural predators in New Zealand, so they have really wonderful hunting over there. I've always wanted to go. You know you love this mod the best. That's right, Lisa. Thanks. That's classic stuff. I do that to my kids all the time. You know who's your favorite, right? Daddy, I don't have a favorite. Oh, yes, you do. I tell them. Anyways, before I get into it, too, the merch store, I did pin that. I'll put it in the comments here too. You can get 20% off right now at the merch store, promo code Lumberjack. I got a really cool I identify as non-binary t-shirt over there. All my stuff, I use the best materials. I don't do crappy t-shirts and hoodies, okay? They're really nice, good quality stuff. So you'll love them. If you get some, make great gifts and great gifts for yourself. You can get the hats, the t-shirts, all of it. So anyways, all right. So here we go. Let's get into this Tucker piece. Maybe some of you have seen this, but I want you to watch this first before we start talking Arizona. This is phenomenal. And I guess I'd never heard this presented in this manner, but it's amazing.
If you want to understand, if you really want to understand how the American government actually works at the highest levels, and if you want to know why they don't teach history anymore, one thing you should know is that the most popular president in American history was Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon. Yet somehow, without a single vote being cast by a single American voter, Richard Nixon was kicked out of office and replaced by the only unelected president in American history. So we went from the most popular president to a president nobody voted for. Wait a minute, you may ask. Why didn't I know that? Wasn't Richard Nixon a criminal? Wasn't he despised by all decent people? No, he wasn't. In fact, if any president could claim to be the people's choice, it was Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was reelected in 1972 by the largest margin of the popular vote ever recorded before or since. Nixon got 17 million more votes than his opponent. Less than 2 years later, he was gone. He was forced to resign. And in his place, an obedient servant of the federal agencies called Gerald Ford took over the White House. How did that happen? Well, it's a long story, but here are the highlights, and they tell you a lot.
It's amazing.
Richard Nixon believed that elements in the federal bureaucracy were working to undermine the American system of government and had been doing that for a long time. He often said that. He was absolutely right. On June 23, 1972, Nixon met with the then CIA director Richard Helms at the White House. During the conversation, which thankfully was tape recorded, Nixon suggested he knew, quote, who shot John, meaning President John F. Kennedy. Nixon further implied that the CIA was directly involved in Kennedy's assassination.
There we go, folks. Do you see this? Now watch. I mean, now the plan to remove him goes into full swing. This is wild. See, you can't question the deep state.
Which we now know it was. Helms's telling response? Total silence. But for Nixon, it didn't matter because it was already over. 4 days before, on June 19th, the Washington Post had published the first of many stories about a break-in at the Watergate office building. Unbeknownst to Nixon and unreported by the Washington Post, 4 of the 5 burglars worked for the CIA. The first of many dishonest Watergate stories was written by a 29-year-old Metro reporter called Bob Woodward. Who exactly was Bob Woodward?
This is really wild.
Well, he wasn't a journalist. Bob Woodward had no background whatsoever in the news business. Instead, Bob Woodward came directly from the classified areas of the federal government. Shortly before Watergate, Woodward was a naval officer at the Pentagon. He had a top-secret clearance. He worked regularly with the intel agencies. At times, Woodward was even detailed to the Nixon White House, where he interacted with Richard Nixon's top aides. Soon after leaving the Navy, for reasons that have never been clear, Woodward was hired by the most powerful news outlet in Washington and assigned the biggest story in the country.
Can you guys believe? I mean, you can believe this, and I know you people kind of get this, but this is wild. So Bob Woodward, you know, who basically was supposed to be this big press guy, wasn't even from the press, and he was this top security clearance guy, basically seems like tasked to take out Richard Nixon.
And just to make it crystal clear what was actually happening, Woodward's main source for his Watergate series was the deputy director of the FBI, Mark Felt. And Mark Felt ran, and we're not making this up, the FBI's COINTELPRO program, which was designed to secretly discredit political actors the federal agencies wanted to destroy, people like Richard Nixon. And at the same time, those same agencies were also working to take down Nixon's elected vice president, Spiro Agnew. In the fall of 1973, Agnew was indicted for tax evasion and forced to resign. His replacement was a colorless congressman from Grand Rapids called Gerald Ford.
Colorless.
What was Ford's qualification for the job? Well, he had served on the Warren Commission, which absolved the CIA of responsibility for President Kennedy's murder. Nixon was strong-armed into accepting Gerald Ford by Democrats in Congress. Quote, "We gave Nixon no choice but Ford," Speaker of the House Carl Albert later boasted. 8 months later, Gerald Ford of the Warren Commission was the President of the United States. See how that works? So those are the facts, not speculation. All of that actually happened. None of it's secret. Most of it actually is on Wikipedia. But no mainstream news organization has ever told that story. It's so obvious, yet it's intentionally ignored. And as a result, permanent Washington remains in charge of our church.
Wow. Okay, so I'll be honest, I've never heard that before. I've never heard that whole breakdown. That just blew my mind when I heard it. It's not, in some ways, it's not surprising, although it is surprising when you hear it the first time. Want to just give a couple shout outs of thank you to Zobi Reichard for that super chat, and also for Texas Red Robin for that $20 super sticker. Thank you very, very much. And Lone Wolf 36, $5 super chat there as well. And he said, and he's always got some good comments, this could be a gal actually with Lone Wolf 36. Anyways, this is Watergate 2.0. Democrats are doing it again with mainstream media deeply involved. And that's the thing that, thank you, Lone Wolf, because that's the thing that was so fascinating about that to me is I want you to think about Trump and the deep state and basically the options that he had presented to him. And basically they were like, okay, here you go. Here's Fauci. This is your guy. Here's Birx. You know, I mean, this is like, you know, like there weren't any other options. Like we could have gotten somebody better. I'm not going to give Trump a free pass on that because I really think that he should have, I guess, vetted these people better or maybe found different spokespeople. But, you know, that's you know, when you're in it, when you're outside of it, it's easier to criticize. So I don't want to just, you know, he did so many good things, but that's what it is. So, anyways, but please do smash that like if you're new to the stream. Now, so with all that going on, I want to cover DocuGate. I've got a really good piece on that. But let me just cover, just humor me for a second. I know some of you aren't from Canada, but for those who are from Canada, I've got some great Canadian followers because I really cover the trucker protest, which I think was one of the greatest movements I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And I thank God for those truckers every single day because I guarantee you that they're pushing back on all of those narratives changed so much. So watch this because this is shocking to hear from Trudeau when we know what we know of him.
I've been crystal clear on this for many, many years. I do not think any
crystal clear, people. This dude's been crystal clear for many years.
Provinces should be proactively, preemptively using the notwithstanding clause. What they're doing is suspending fundamental rights and freedoms and preventing the courts from even being able to weigh in on that. As a government, we
suspending rights and freedoms. That's just terrible. I mean,
will always stand up for people's fundamental rights and freedoms. We've committed that we are going to engage at the Supreme Court in the current case on C20 on Bill 21, and we're going to continue to look at the best ways to make sure that right across the country, every Canadian has their fundamental rights and freedoms protected.
One more time on that last little bit. What was that, Justin?
Canadian has their fundamental rights and freedoms protected.
So important to Justin that you Canadians have your fundamental rights and freedoms protected. I can't take these people seriously. All right, let's talk Arizona because this is what I really want to get into, and then I'm going to get into some DocuGate stuff. So first, big news out of Arizona, people. The Republican Party, the grassroots people of the Republican Party have been busy. Okay, so they have changed out the people in the party to some grassroots American First candidates. Okay, that happened. They're out of 5 positions. Kari Lake endorsed candidates. 3 out of 5 won. So that was a big thing. And that what you need to understand is this local involvement is really where it's at. I know you people have heard me say this before, and you're like, Neil, you just won't shut up about local involvement. No, I won't, because otherwise you feel powerless because the stuff at the federal government, it's just too big and you can't control it. So watch this. These people, this is so awesome. I'm just going to let the video play. We'll talk about it afterwards. This is incredible. Get ready for something good.
Votes to censure our duly elected Republicans.
Okay, so what's happening here is this lady gets up to say, no, we can't censure our duly elected Republicans. So what they're doing is they're censuring some of these Maricopa County officials like Richard Gates. This is incredible. And this lady gets up and says, we can't do that. That's bad. It's bad for the party. It's bad for... No, I mean, when these people are that off the rails, this is what you have to do. So she keeps on. Listen to that crowd.
As I will stand here, my name is Kathy Pensis, and I am from LA, Florida. Censuring has no purpose in this body. It does not build our party. It does not gain us more people. And I stood here 2 years ago. I said to you that I said to these individuals, you don't give us any thoughts.
Do you see that? She's just like congratulating Governor Katie Hobbs. These people are off the rails. So these are the people who want to go with the flow, right? And just be like, oh yeah, this is small ball Republicans again. Small ball Republicans. I'll rewind this back just a little bit so you can hear. I want you to catch this part in here. And I know there's a lot of booing, which is great, but it makes it a little tougher to hear. Okay. And I'm going to bring this up too. Lisa says, only donate to people directly. Stop donating to the RNC. You can't trust these people. She is 100% spot on. Do not give your money to the RNC. Donate directly to candidates. Okay.
Censuring has no purpose in this body. It does not build our party. It does not gain us more people. And I stood here 2 years.
Okay, so she says censuring, because they are censuring these people. Okay, and they're saying she's saying censuring does not build our party. This is in Maricopa County, Arizona. If you people have just joined, they have censured Richard Gates and I think Jack Sellers. So all on that Maricopa board, the supposed Republicans. And I'm telling you, I did a story on this. Some of you seen this story. It was a year and a half ago. But down in Georgia, there was a political consulting group, Landmark Communications or Landmark Group, that was running Democrats as Republicans, pro-abortion. You know, we're in Minnesota. Our governor's gone off the rails along with the people here because we ended up with a Democrat House and Senate, and they are putting through the most radical anti-life legislation known to man. So I don't need to recruit, but if you got to expel it, you got to expel it. It's never healthy to keep it in. Amen, Jonathan. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's a good one. Okay, so she's saying it doesn't build our party. It doesn't do anything. Actually, no, we need to get these people out of the party. She's telling these people who are censuring that they were the ones who gave him Governor Katie Hobbs. Get a grip, lady. Get a grip. And then she goes on about all these good Maricopa County people. Okay, so this is taking place in Maricopa County, Arizona. This is the grassroots taking the Republican Party back. But it gets even better. And okay, and before I pull this next thing up, I want you guys to understand something. And because I get a lot of comments on the channel, okay? And I read, I don't get to see every single one, but I get to see a lot of them. And a lot of people are like, oh, Kari Lake can never win the courts and this, that, and it's all stacked. And then these titles and thumbnails don't make any sense because, you know, you're saying she can win and it's just hopium. It's hopium. Look, people, she may not win. Okay, I don't know, but I will tell you this much. The self-fulfilling prophecy of defeatism, if that's what you see, a lot of people are like, see, and then I was right. You were right. Oh, good for you. ARP, ARP, ARP. Give you a SEAL Brigade freaking hand clap, okay? As we lose our country because you're running around, oh, it's never going to work. Never going to work. And see, I was right. I was right. Oh, good for freaking you, man. Seriously. Good freaking night. Okay? I mean, if you guys aren't willing to, like, get in the fight, get engaged, and all you want to do is bitch on social media, take a flying flip. I don't care if you leave my channel. Honest to goodness. Because that's not how we win, is through defeatism. And Kari Lake is doing the work, and she's not backing off. She's not backing off. And I will keep presenting the news that she gets out there. And I really feel strongly about this. I seriously, many of you on my channel got involved and became election judges. You became poll watchers. You did the work. You did the ground work. You did the work on the ground to actually better things instead of sitting in your chair complaining, lighting up chats on YouTube about how nothing's ever going to happen. It's freaking stupid. It is. It just pisses me off. Pull myself back together here. All right. So I want to bring this in. I mean, I hope you guys, I love y'all, but I hope you catch what I'm saying. Okay. So here we go. Now, this is off Kari Lake War Room on Twitter. So Kari Lake says, we have evidence that has come to light that is very shocking. I can't get into the details right now. We are double, triple, quadruple checking it. And I think it's earth-shattering evidence in our case. And we're hoping to somehow get that to the courts. And so many people say, well, it's appeals court, Neil. You can't admit new evidence in the appeals court. No, Sherlock. Okay. What do you guys understand that no matter what happens with this appeal, if it gets kicked back to the lower court to be reheard, if the appeals court says, hey, you guys need to look at this differently, okay, no matter what happens, if it gets kicked back or if it doesn't, this thing will be appealed by either side to the Arizona Supreme Court. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter, what you think. It doesn't matter if we win the appeals court process, then we just appeal to the Supreme Court. That's what's taking place here. You are not going to find out who wins this tomorrow. You're not going to find out who wins it at the end of the month. Okay? This is going to go on for a while. For all of you saying, oh, there's no possible way, there is a possible way because it's happened in Arizona before. Good night. I could have taken a flying flip. I did not because of you. I've only done what you asked, and thank you. No, thank you, Lisa, because getting involved is what we needed, and Lisa got involved in the elections process. She became a poll worker. So I just so you know, we're not going to have this. Now, look at this. What does she say here? Okay. We are double, triple, quadruple checking it. So this is new information. Is it a whistleblower? Is it then evidence that they've got? So the beautiful thing about this is they're taking it very seriously and they're quadruple checking it. Okay. So we're going to see what happens with that. There's some other great stuff here on Kari Lake War Room. We're going to just scroll up here. I know a lot of my listening audience isn't on Twitter. But I just want to show you a couple other things. This is the 19 and 21 versions. No, that's not what I want. Where is it? I'm going to just scroll up to this next one. Okay, grassroots Maricopa County Republicans voted overwhelmingly to censure Stephen Richer and the 4 Republicans. We just watched that video on the Board of Supervisors. The censure instructed Republicans to cease recognition and support of the officials and expel them permanently from office. Those 4 are gone, people. Those rhino twits are going to be gone. Okay. There are some Republican legislators willing to let you get your vote stolen because they resent you for demanding more from them than broken promises and state platitudes. Case in point. So they point out that again. But where's the one I really want to get to here? Oh, this is that funny thing. I did a video on that. That was hilarious. Okay. This is how the process should work. Does anyone in Maricopa County have the integrity to stand up and do the right thing? Jen Wright, what statesmanship and integrity looks like. I'm a board member until I'm not a board member. My main concern is the integrity of the election and whoever ends up taking the seat. The people have confidence in the outcome, Clayton said. That's how you do it. Then she talks a little bit about the border and so on. Then look at this. Joe Rogan actually discussed the sabotage election in Arizona. This is why independent media is so important, people. It really is. It really is. That's why I do what I do. And then there was the one other up here. Oh, so Abe Hamadeh, there's some things going on there. By the way, Abe Hamadeh got the attorney who used to work for Mark Brnovich, who Mark Brnovich didn't like because she was too good. Where's the last? Where is it? It's right there. It is. This one here. Shelby Bush confirms after reviewing the system log files from the tabulators on election day, nearly 250,000 ballots were misread. With 446 tabulators across the county, there's no doubt the integrity of the election in Maricopa was compromised. This is a huge story. I got to do an individual. So this is 464,926 ballots, 217,305 That's nearly 50% failure rate, people. Okay. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you. That's what's going on in Arizona, and I got to get a video done on that. So then, okay, I'm going to give you an example of winning. So if you guys don't know, so this is a hockey player, and he refused to wear the rainbow jersey. And instead of asking him about real hockey questions, the press attacked him with this.
And I respect everybody's choices. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, that's all I'm going to comment on that. If you have any hockey questions, I would answer those.
Can you just clarify clarify your religion?
Russian Orthodox.
So with the game tonight, Ivan, obviously Kevin Hayes had a hat trick, and Rasmus.
So now they're going to ask him actually real questions, but that's Ivan Provorov, okay, and he plays for the Philadelphia Flyers, okay. His jersey after making this announcement sold out just like that, okay. And he's Russian Orthodox. Let's see, we've got. Oh, here I want to share this one with you too.
You about the president's own words. He has said no regrets on this matter. What does he mean when he says no regrets?
Docugate, folks.
Sure. Well, I think it's really important to take the soundbite and understand the context. He was asked a question by a reporter about the disclosure publicly of this information. I think that he was asked specifically, do you regret not disclosing this information to the public earlier? And I think that the answer, and of course he said he had no regrets, and the answer is because he's been promptly, his legal team, has been promptly disclosing information to the proper authorities as a part of an ongoing investigation.
Bull. Absolute total bull. He knew about it before the election. They didn't release before the election because it would have damaged him in the midterms. This is all stupid. And people buy this. People they'll watch MSNBC. Oh my gosh, I've got a video for you. Oh my word, people. This is beautiful. I'm going to get it. I will play another video here that I want to bring into the stream. And I'm going to pull this other one up. You're going to want to make sure you stick around for this because this is hilarious stuff. But I'm going to share something from Dan Bongino. And he knocks this Docugate thing out of the park. I'm going to let this thing play through in its entirety. Okay. Do me a favor, smash the like, get a few more people on because Dan Bongino explains this so well. I want more people to see this. This is awesome, I think.
Not about the classified documents themselves. The media is telling you, as I always say, a story, not the story. Those aren't the same things. Listen, we could debate the Mar-a-Lago raid versus the Biden documents. Did Biden know about them, or the lack of visitor logs at his residence, whatever. They're all distractions. Tonight, I'm going to tie it together for you and make the case that the real story here is about what's inside the documents. That has the Democrats terrified if we ever find out. It's why the left is reacting like this.
And there, I have no regrets. I'm following what the lawyers have told me they want me to do. It's exactly what we're doing. There's no there.
Again, that's for the Department of Justice.
Why is it a DOJ question?
And let's be clear, it's not your decision to make of what I can or can't answer from here. I already answered your question. Go ahead.
You really did.
Well, I did.
Referring to the photograph of the Biden garage, I don't know what your garage looks like, but here's the photograph in that garage, but that does not look like what a secure location would be.
Is that the tipping point was finding those documents, those classified documents at his home, in his garage, no less.
Folks, you want the real story? Just follow the money. If you follow the money, we can connect everything. From the classified documents to why the Trump impeachment hoax happened, even the Russiagate story. Let's start with what we know. And the leftist freak out to this segment is going to be something to watch because it's based on facts. During Obama's administration, Ukraine, it was a piggy bank, folks, for lobbyists and elites eager to peddle influence in Washington. It was a piggy bank for funneling dirty money from Ukraine back into Washington. Everybody knows it. And it's fairly obvious at this point that Joe Biden, the point man on Ukraine, he wanted a piece of that. So when Putin threatened Ukraine in 2014 and 2015, Biden, of course, was the point man there. And according to the Washington Post, this is interesting, Joe Biden wanted to send weapons to Ukraine, but was overruled by Obama? Meanwhile, Hunter Biden, his son, with zero experience on the matter whatsoever, was on the board of a Ukrainian energy company called Burisma. Big coincidence, right? Well, hold on. Let's just keep following the money here. Remember, it's not about the media telling you a story. That's what they want to do. It's about the story. Follow the money. When Burisma, Hunter Biden's company, was being investigated by a Ukrainian prosecutor, Papa Joe openly talked about withholding financial aid if the Ukrainian prosecutor wasn't fired. You may have seen this clip before, but pay very close attention to the end of it.
I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired. So they made some genuine.
Okay, what blows my mind about that is he is talking to the press and they all just laugh. That isn't funny, man. He's talking about threatening another government official in another. This is so stupid.
Substantial changes institutionally and with people. But in one of the three institutions, there's now some backsliding. So when we left, the first thing I spent a lot of time, as did Mike, because this was his territory.
You know what's interesting too is you watch that, and I'll play this again. But do you see how much his mental acuity has dropped? How much Biden's mental acuity has dropped? There's no way he should be in the White House. Back then, he actually did have some mental sharpness anyways. I mean, he could keep his thoughts together. I'm not saying he was brilliant. Okay, that's not my point. But he could actually string his thoughts together. Smash that like if you would, please. Let's get some more people on.
Oh, it was Mike's territory? While he's on stage, Joe Biden bragging about getting a prosecutor fired for investigating his son's company. Who is Mike? Well, he's talking about the guy sitting next to him on stage, Michael Carpenter, who used to work for the Department of Defense on Russia and Ukraine. That's the same Michael Carpenter who was the managing director of the Penn Biden Center think tank. This is bananas. The same one where the classified documents on Ukraine were found. Isn't that just so weird? How does that always happen? Let that sink in for a minute. The same guy who worked for Obama's DOD on Ukraine ran Biden's think tank. Again, a big coinky-dink, I'm sure. But stay with me here. We're still following the money. Here's another coincidence. Don't you think, again, it's weird that the DOJ in their recent statement said that they were at the Biden residence for the classified document search? But why weren't they at the Penn Biden Center? Someone hiding something? Speaking of Ukraine investigations, one of the biggest pro-Ukraine lobbyists in 2016 was a woman by the name of Daria Kalaniuk. She conveniently was the director of a George Soros-funded anti-corruption group, Ant-AC. Well, why does this matter? Well, Daria Kalaniuk and her group, according to reports, coordinated with the U.S. Embassy to pressure Ukrainian prosecutors to stop investigating the Soros group in 2016 in Ukraine, where Hunter Biden worked and Joe Biden was the point man. They allegedly had a do not prosecute list, but here's where it gets really weird. There was a do prosecute list they wanted as well. Remember Russiagate, the hoax that began when the same group targeted Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort for his what? Financial dealings in Ukraine. So Manafort knew about Ukraine, meaning Trump probably did too. Then another Soros-affiliated group hired Fusion GPS, the creator of the Russian dossier. You believe that? Again, super coincidental, man. Remember, it's not about a story. It's about the story. And here's another outstanding coincidence, all centered on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's grift in Ukraine. Read this 2017 headline from Politico, left-wing outlet Politico, about Ukrainians targeting Trump to keep him from getting elected. They did, right? In 2017? Why did they not want Trump in office, Ukrainians? Maybe because some of those Ukrainians knew that Trump knew about the Ukrainian piggy bank the Bidens were partaking in. And they wanted to make sure you didn't know about it. Well, when they failed to stop Trump with the Russia hoax, they had to impeach him, especially after Zelensky. He asked Zelensky to investigate Ukrainian corruption, a.k.a. the links to Joe and Hunter Biden. So right on cue, along comes a whistleblower out of nowhere and the phone call with the alleged quid pro quo.
Donald J. Trump. Once again, the president of the United States
is in big trouble.
Historic news from Capitol Hill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announcing a formal impeachment inquiry of President Trump.
The President of the United States recognizes that there is in this whistleblower's documents terrible evidence of the president's corruption.
The whistleblower's memo about the call says that the official described the call as crazy, frightening.
And here comes, as if on cue, right, our Ukrainian friend again, who was running George Soros' little anti-AC group over there, who just shockingly parrots the exact same talking points as the whistleblower, who, oddly enough, she reportedly met with in 2015 at the White House. Again, another outstanding coincidence, folks. Listen, are these classified documents found at Biden's think tank run by Michael Carpenter, who was on stage with them as they were threatening to fire the prosecutor? Does it expose what Biden was up to, taking advantage of the Ukrainian piggy bank through his son, using his son, Hunter Biden? Was Biden acting as a foreign agent of Ukraine? I'm not talking about 007. I'm talking in the monetary sense. See why Hunter's financial support of his father is such a big deal now? Follow the money. Ukraine was a piggy bank. Joe Biden wanted a piece. It's not about us story. It's about the story. And I know liberals, you get confused really easily about these scandals, but only when they involve Democrats. So I did a little quick whiteboard summation for you of the Biden scandal. It's called the Lib Guide to Scandal. Here, Ukraine gave money to Hunter despite having no skills. Hunter sent money to Dad. Dad then lobbies for Ukraine for both weapons and money to Ukraine. Hard? You need a picture of it? I can put it on my Instagram. Folks, now do you understand why the Democrats want everyone distracted about whether or not Joe Biden should have classified documents? They don't care about classified documents. They don't want us to know what's in them because it could expose one of the biggest scandals in U.S. history. Just follow the money.
Absolutely one of Dan Bongino's best segments of all time. Just follow the money, people. It is absolutely wild. And Lisa, I want to thank you so much for that super chat. And yeah, buy from people who like us. Mike Lindell's awesome, and so are his products. Giza sheets are great. I just got some more. I saw some other people comment on the sheets and getting some sheets. And I thank you for that. It really does support the show. And I just thank you. I thank you. And yeah. And you know, I mean, I don't know, you guys, if your mattress is getting a little tired or a little stiff and you just need something, that mattress topper is fantastic. Go to mypillow.com, use promo code Lumberjack. You can save up to 66%. I actually got that for my son and daughter-in-law for Christmas. I bought one utilizing my promo code, you know, so I get the savings. Anyways, and they have full-on mattresses too, which are really nice. So memory foam mattresses are fantastic, and they have some really good ones. So just want to mention my sponsor, MyPillow. So that's this Ukraine thing is just, DocuGate is not what they're telling you. That's not it. The press didn't all of a sudden come to some revelation that it's important to actually ask Joe Biden serious questions. By the way, I put up another presser video on Kari Jean-Pierre and the press. I'm going to pull just a little bit of that video in just to give you a taste of it, but I'm not going to do the whole thing because I want you to go watch the video. Go to my page and watch the video. Make it go
for
wild.
Entertainment value. And new stars are rising. It used to just be Peter Ducey. Now they're all jumping on board. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. This will be fun. Let's get it rolling.
Surprised the documents, that there were classified documents found at the Penn Biden Center. Was he surprised that there was classified material found at his home on Friday?
I love my nukes.
So, look, again, there's going to be a lot of questions on this.
Oh, you know that's right, Karine.
Another question on the documents. You have said, though, from this podium many, many times over the last 2 weeks that this president takes the handling of classified material very seriously.
Very seriously.
And yet we continue to learn about more documents being found and discovered at his home, including now some that go back decades to his time in the Senate. So why should the American people believe that this president takes classified material seriously?
Look, the American people heard from the president directly on this when he was asked by your colleagues at least twice now about about how he sees this process. And he was very clear with the response of what we're currently seeing. And he says, I take this.
I had to stop it here because I wanted to see if you could guess the next two words, because she just said he takes this. What? Yeah. You guys got it? What are the next two words? Come on, let's see it. What are the next two words that are coming from this? Come on. Where is it? Where are the next two words? There's a delay. Dopium. Thanks, Sam. Not the next two words, but that's obviously what this is. Yes, seriously.
Yeah, I think he got it.
Very seriously. He said, I didn't know that the documents were there.
Very seriously. All right, I'm yanking that video out. You guys want the rest of it? It's a great, that presser, I broke it all down. It is phenomenal. Go check that video out. It was the last upload on my channel. So, but very seriously. So, yeah, I just, you know, this live, and I've got, oh yeah, I've got to get, okay, here, I got to pull something else in. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Well, here we go, share screen. Okay, it's still going to show Kari Lake War Room for right now. But I want to, don't ever let them, you know. So this homosexual couple charged with, yeah, you guys saw this, right? Molesting and pimping out their sons. Just classic stuff, okay? These people who don't say boo about this get all upset over the most ridiculous things, okay? Here, this is one I wanted to get. So I did a video on Nancy Pelosi, right, in the exorcism at her house. The Archdiocese of San Francisco confirms to Gateway Pundit they are unaware of any exorcism at Pelosi home. So again, and I mentioned this in my video when I did this, I think this was another, you know, one of these set up for Hollywood moments by her daughter, the producer. On Saturday, Pelosi spawn Alexandra Pelosi claimed the Paul Pelosi scandal prompted her mother to perform an exorcism on their home in San Francisco. I think that weighed heavily on her soul. Okay, I shared this on another video. But then the next day, the Fox and Friends weekend host reported there was no exorcism. The local Catholic Church confirmed the news. So Fox and Friends weekend host Rachel Campos Duffy then added this reality check to the story. Well, her radical anti-life position should weigh more heavily on her soul, and she is not allowed to receive communion in San Francisco. Okay. And just so you know, because I know many of you are probably worried about this, we do not have different rules for Democrats and Republicans. Merrick Garland pushes back on claims Biden has been treated better than Trump in a video. You see, people, Merrick Garland's on the up and up. I just want you all to know that there are not different rules. There are not different rules. There just are not. Serious. So, Merrick Garland says it. You know it's true, people. You know it's true. Hey, just need to get the news out tonight. Thanks so much for listening. And if you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. You know, there's great things happening in Arizona, people. Just keep the faith on that. If you're down in Arizona, do anything you can do to help. Keep working those local elections. We had big wins in Maricopa County. Maricopa County controls the state of Arizona. If you're concerned about Arizona, the elections down there, I am very concerned about it. Look, we're whacked out. I live in Minnesota. It's just gone completely bonkers up here. Okay, if you want to see that throughout the nation and you want to see them allowed to just continue to add people to the rolls before election, well, shoot, get what we got here in Minnesota. But you can still fight in Arizona. It hasn't gone that way so bad. So, I mean, you got to get out and do it. Please, again, my merchandise store, I plugged that a little bit tonight because there is some cool merchandise. And I really do believe it's a great conversation starter if you're wearing that. I know Lisa will attest to that. She's got some of the Let's Go Brandon merchandise that I've got. She also has the non-binary, identifies non-binary. Really a great conversation starter. We need to fight this battle in the streets, hand to hand. We win hearts and souls one at a time, okay? Next week, I am doing a live, 6 o'clock, Monday night. Scott Pressler is going to be on this show. People, if you don't know who Scott Pressler is, you should. He has done more to register Republican voters than anybody else, including the RNC, by far. And we're going to have him on the show. He's got a new group. He's got some new strategies and plans to make sure we win big in the next election cycle. He works on the integrity side. He works on the registration side. Okay. He works all over. So that's the thing. You just gotta go out there and make that happen. Okay. Lisa Haley texted me, said, I dislike KJP very seriously. Anyways, thanks so much for listening. Support the sponsors. They support the show. All the links are down in the descriptions. You guys are the best audience in America. All right. I love you all. Peace out.